Today's presenters, we have two, I'm really excited to have these two guests. We have representatives from the Detroit Police Department. There is a wealth of opportunities for people to build a meaningful career, both in the sworn officer and the civilian duties. So they're going to share with you all of those great opportunities. You're going to learn a lot today from them. Things that you weren't aware are different access points for your students to build a great career in law enforcement in some capacity. And then our second presenter is going to be from MedStar, and they also have a very unique model. They're a trade school-ish, and they have a great apprenticeship model for your students when they're going to school, getting an EMT certification. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce to you representatives from the Detroit Police Department. We thank you for what you do, and we're excited to hear from you.
Okay, thank you. Once again, my name is Gerald Hewitt. I'm with the Detroit Police Department. Lieutenant here, been with the Detroit Police Department for about 22 years now. I'm currently serving as a commanding officer of police recruiting. My boss, Director Patillo, is in charge of human resources, will be joining us shortly. We're going to do a short presentation. We'll be happy to take any questions. With that, I'd like to introduce my field recruiting sergeant, Sergeant LaShawna McGee.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Sergeant LaShawna McGee, and I've also been on the job for 22 years. I have a team. My team is going to be Officer Justin Hearn and Officer Brittany Williams. They're going to be the ones that's going to present for you all.
Hello, everybody. I'm Officer Hearn.
I'm Officer Williams. How you guys doing?
And let me just first of all say thank you for having us here and being able to share with you. I first would like to just give out our phone number to everybody, to all the counselors. So if you guys want us to come visit your classrooms, if you want us to come in and do presentations, we really get out into the community and build rapport. And all you have to do is send me a text message and let me know when's a good time. And we'll prioritize it, put it on our calendar, and we'll make sure that we come out to speak with your students. So you can reach me at 313-300-1326. That's 313-300-1326. If you want email, that's fine too. My email address is Hearn, that's H-E-A-R-N. That's Hearn, H-E-A-R-N, J549 at DetroitMI.gov. So that's Hearn J549 at DetroitMI.gov. Thank you. Somebody put it in the chat. So if you want us to come out and do a presentation, just reach out. Myself and Officer Williams will be there, Johnny on the spot, to present to your children or your youth and let them know all the awesome opportunities that we share with you here today. So we're going to jump into our presentation really quick. Screen sharing. Do I have to tap it, or how does that work?
Okay, you're a co-host now, so go ahead and click on the green screen share. It should pull it up.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of this so I can put it in slideshow. Yeah. Why is it not going? I'm trying to put it in slideshow mode.
Stuff at the top of them.
Yes, I'm saying it's like, okay. All right, you guys can see my screen up pretty well, right?
Yeah, you're fine. You can go in that mode. That'll work.
Okay. All right. So if you guys notice, our slogan here at the Detroit Police Department, it says take part. And that's a message that we really spread into the community, because we believe that we can be a better police department the more people that we get to take a stake into our community and serve their community. And there's no way better to do that by joining the Detroit Police Department. So now I'm going to show you a quick video that just shows the diversity and the different walks of life that people are in that are on this job.
This is our city. Detroit is different. We embrace it. diverse, proven, and driven. Take part with DPD.
As you saw in that video, I hope you was able to see and hear everything. You saw, Black people, you saw brown people, you saw Asians, you saw a whole plethora of different people. You saw commanding officers, you saw civilian officers, and that is just pretty much the footprint of our department. We hire civilians, we hire support jobs for people that may take 911 calls. We also hire police officers. We hire tow truck drivers. We hire social workers. Anything that you can do pretty much in regular life, you can do inside the police department. So that's the awesome thing. A lot of times we hear Detroit Police Department, we only think about 911 calls and police showing up, but we have a whole support staff that takes that we need to help our job function as well. So it's not just being the police, it's way more than being that. We hire security guards. So there's a lot of opportunity in the Detroit Police Department. And I think that is key that the youth know that, because maybe they don't want to be a police officer, but maybe they want to be a vehicle maintenance operator and change tires and change oil and different stuff like that. We hire those type of people as well. Next up is our chief. I think leadership is important, so we always like to highlight our chief during our presentations. Chief James White is a 25-year plus veteran of the Detroit Police Department, and he has served as an assistant chief for a while. He ended up leaving and going to the Michigan Department of Civil Rights and leading that, and then coming back and being our chief. He's an awesome leader. He really believes in helping us and giving us everything that we need. He's a major advocate for mental health and understanding those challenges. So it's always good when you have somebody, I think a lot of times in the climate that we're in, some people can be just pro-police, which means the police can do no wrong. And that's not the case. We have a chief that's going to hold us accountable. If somebody's wrong, they're wrong. If we're right, we're right. And I think that's important because leadership matters.
And this is our mission statement. So the mission of the Detroit Police Department and its members is to encourage thoughtful decision-making and a strong sense of community responsibility through education, equity, empathy, professionalism, transparency, and policing standards properly informed by community input and civic leadership. Diversity, equity, and inclusion purpose. To develop and implement the organization's diversity initiatives and strategies to attract, hire, and maintain a diverse workplace, with recent research identifying that officer demographics has an influence on policing, prioritizing the diversification of the department should improve our operational and functional efforts.
Yes, so we're a big advocate for diversity and inclusion. We did some work with the policy per the chief, and took all of the he, she, and stuff out of it. We also have a core. We have a lot of different organizations or units in the department that support different causes, whether it's, children, whether it's the LGBT community. So we're a very progressive department where everybody has a place. So now, my favorite part to talk about, if you guys can't tell, is what does it take to become a police officer, right? So these are a couple of things right here. First, 18 years old, right? So that means as soon as they turn 18 and they graduate from high school, whether that's a diploma or a GED, they can be a Detroit police officer. They have to have a valid driver's license, no felony convictions, 20/20 vision, or corrected vision, right? So that right there is all it takes. Is all it takes. And I tell the kids all the time is that, we don't have to be plan A. You know what I mean? If you want to go away to college and that's your thing, cool. That's wonderful. But the reality is a lot of us didn't have that opportunity. I just finished school not too long ago. I had to work and go to school. And so that becomes a reality for people. And then what better way to serve your community and gain some meaningful experience. So I tell people, if plan A don't work out, come do plan B. And I guarantee you will love it. The Detroit Police Department is a very rewarding career. And there's so much that you can do on this job. Speaking of that, we have over 100 specialized units. So a lot of people think about the police, they think about 911, what's your emergency? Somebody shows up, somebody got to take somebody to jail. That's the only thing we see. And if you're driving in the neighborhood, you know, you might see the white cars or the gray cars or whatever the color cars in your neighborhood, whatever. However, there's over 100 different specialized units. I would even go as far as to say we probably have more specialized units than any other department in the state. You know, I mean, maybe state police may be close to us, maybe. But we have undercover water team. These are people who go and, you know, recover bodies and stuff out the river. We have aviation, where you literally can learn how to fly a plane or a helicopter. And, you know, you don't have to pay for that. The department pays for it. You know, they get you your pilot's license, different things like that. We have narcotics. If, you know, if you had a history of drugs in your neighborhood and you say, you know what, I want to get drugs off the street, you can do that. If you love animals, you can work with dogs. We have a K9 unit. Those dogs go home with those officers and becomes, you know, their partners and stuff like that. We have task force. A lot of times we hear kids say, oh, I want to go to the FBI. Oh, I want to go to the ATF. I want to do this. And I say, okay, that's cool and all. But to do that, you got to have a 4-year degree and you got to have a whole bunch of experience. Well, you can come gain that experience with us at 18 years old. You could be assigned out to a DEA task force. You could be assigned out to an ATF task force. And this is where you're working directly with federal agents and you're reporting to them and not to the Detroit Police Department. So you can gain that federal experience if you want that. If you love horses, we have mounted. We use our horses for riot controls and different things like that. But those guys take care of those horses day in, day out. And the interesting thing and one of the great things about this department is all of these specialties that I named, this is what they do full time. They don't have to do traffic and then go do a task force or do traffic and then go fly a plane. No, that person is maintenance in that plane. He's with that plane or helicopter, excuse me, all the time. Those guys are with those horses all the time. We have our TSS, our technical service section. They are highly trained. They go out and they get guns and dope off the streets every day. We have our motorcade, our traffic enforcement unit. Those guys are responsible for doing traffic in the neighborhoods around the cities, different motorcades when the presidents come into town and different things like that. We have our central photo. Those guys take pictures, they draw sketches, they create logos, images, flyers, and stuff that we have. So even if you are a person, you can become a cop and be a graphic designer. That's something that you can do here. And last, we call them the real police, but they're our special response team. Those are the ninjas. Those are the real police. You know, if you want that special training, we have it for you. At this time, I would like to bring our Director of Human Resources up.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I was a little bit late, stuck in traffic, but my name is Katrina Patel. I'm the Director of Human Resources here. And so I oversee the recruiting for police recruiting and our civilian personnel. And so like the team was telling you, we have over 3,000 employees here, one of the largest agencies for the city of Detroit. We have over 2,400 police officers, but we also have over 640 civilian employees that work here. Focus on diversity. We did hire a diversity, equity, and inclusion manager because our chief thought that was important, and that has been a wealth of knowledge and experience for us. We have over 26% of our police department for females. And we have leadership, great leadership. And then for the civilian side, we also have over 400 women that are here. So a plethora of experiences here, but to talk about our civilian staff, they touched on a few. There's only 2 civilian occupations that we have where you have to have a degree. That is for social workers. You have to have a master's degree, and for crime analysts, you have to have a bachelor's degree. But for all the other jobs, start at 18 years of age. Just have to pass a background investigation, but we have 911 call operators, so that they work the emergency side as well as the non-emergency side. The emergency side could be someone shot into my house. The non-emergency side of that could be there's a cat or a tree dog that's in a tree. We have social workers. We just increased the pay for the social workers. City Council approved that. We have tow truck drivers. We have clerical. So if you're looking for office administration, we started office administration level 2, level 3. We have executive secretaries. We have administrative assistants. We even have human resource consultants. And I have Mr. Arendel Jones, who's on the online with me. He's one of our consultants that here. Virtual patrol. So if you want to work in the crime scene services, but you don't have a bachelor's degree, you can start off in virtual patrol. Crime analyst, Project Greenlight. So a plethora of job opportunities here for anyone. And then we actually have some individuals who start off in a civilian capacity, and then they get to know the interworkings of the department, meet some of the staff, and they decide, hey, I want to go ahead and join the police academy, and they can. That's another tip, that our police academy, we pay our candidates to go to our academy. So they get paid starting day one of our academy. Is 6 months long. When they graduate from the academy, they will get a pay increase. And then every year after that, up until 4 years, they receive a pay increase for our department. We also have on-site education. So if anyone, and we have a partnership with Wayne County Community College where they can go there and get an associate's degree. But anyone who's interested in a bachelor's degree, we will, civilian and police officers. Police officers get tuition assistance. That's $2,500, $2,000 to $2,500 annually. For a bachelor's degree, depending on what kind of experience you come in with, or if you already have credit, Cleary University is here. We have cohorts that take classes once a week. You can get a bachelor's degree within 12 months. You can get a master's degree within 16 months. We had over 100 police officers that graduated last year with their bachelor's and master's degree. And currently right now we have already 240 employees that are enrolled in Cleary University. So a plethora of opportunities here for anyone who's interested in the police department. If you're interested in having a tour here, we will set up a tour for the students. Just come down and talk to us. The application process for either civilian or police officer is very simple. We will walk you through, navigate. They can apply on site. And please feel free to join us at some of the career fairs that we have.
All right, I saw a couple questions in the chat. I'm going to try to answer them real quick. A virtual patrol operator is somebody that watches cameras and gives play-by-play for our officers. So we have a green light location and we get a call that there's something going on at that location. The virtual patrol operator can pull up that camera and they can see what's going on. And then they can tell the police officers, hey, the guy put the gun behind the chips. Hey, it's the guy with the red jacket. So they're patrolling, but virtually, and giving that play-by-play. They're giving that play-by-play to the police officers. But I think it's time to talk money, right? We all love money. So the city of Detroit just blessed us tremendously and gave us a new contract, and we're so thankful for everybody that played a part in that. But so starting pay right now for a Detroit police officer is $46,000. That's while you're trained in the academy. You spend 6 months in that academy. Once you graduate, if you have at least 60 college credits, you get a raise instantly after you graduate to $54,000. If you do not have any education, you go to $53,000. So 6 months in the academy at 46, and then once you graduate, you get 53 with no education, 54 with education. After that, you receive 2 raises a year. So we are issued a raise contractually every July 1st. And whenever your hire date is. So if your first hire date or your first day of the academy was April 1st, every April 1st and every July 1st, you'll get 2 raises. So you get 2 raises a year. It takes 4 years to max out, and top pay is $85,000 in 4 years. So an 18-year-old can be 18, start making 46, and in 4 years make 85. And that's if they don't rank up. That's if they don't become a training officer or take initiative or get 60 credits to get the educational raise. So it's a very I would say lucrative career. We also get 50% off any land bank houses. So houses that's owned in the city of Detroit, you get 50% off those houses. So if they want to buy a house and do different things like that, those opportunities are awarded to them as well. Again, if I gave you guys my cell phone number, this is our recruiting hotline and our recruiting email. If you guys want to jot that down, you can also reach out here. If you want to call me or text me, that's fine. I'll make myself available for you. At this time, we want to ask, does anybody have any questions or comments? You can come off mute. We would love to chat with you for our remaining time. Oh, is he on here? He is. Oh. I'm sorry. OJ, do you got anything you want to add?
Nope, you and Director did a very good job explaining everything on the civilian side. So I would also like to give you our phone number, just in case anybody wants to reach out to any questions in regards to civilian opportunities. We can be reached at 313-596-2730.
Officer Hearn, will you put the previous slide up again for us, please? Appreciate it.
Okay, well, if there isn't any specific questions, oh, Beverly has a question. Well, there's two about, oh, we have the cybersecurity is already addressed. What does a social worker do as a part of the police department?
OJ. Uh-oh, did we lose him? Yeah. I think OJ got froze.
So we have social workers that, I don't know, did you want to chime in, Mr. Arindo, or I can take it?
Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yes, we can hear you.
So from my understanding, they work with a lot of the families that are victim to incidents within the city of Detroit. So, you know, sexual assaults, rapes, and so forth. Social workers are assigned to each one of those cases, and they work them as they go along.
All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you being here. I know it's an early start. And I know that you've provided a lot of information for our counselors, and I expect that they will definitely be reaching out to you. And I do get a lot of information from your HR department, and I try to push that out to our school counselors and make sure your job fairs and your recruitment opportunities get shared with our students. We do have a lot of CTE programs in our county that are specifically to public safety or law enforcement. So we'll make sure that they also get those different opportunities into the hands of the students that are currently studying that in high school. So thank you so much. And we are going to ask you to unshare your screen, and I'm going to hand off the presentation now to our representatives from MedStar.
Good morning. Sarah, can you see the PowerPoint?
Yep, we can see and hear you.
Okay.
Yep.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Susan Burkhart, and I have Courtney McKenna with me. And we're going to talk today a little bit about our new exciting EMT Academy for MedStar. So MedStar has kind of been a hometown hero in Macomb County. We are celebrating 30 years, and we started the Academy program about a year and a half ago. And it's an excellent pathway for any high school student graduating, interested in healthcare, interested in EMS, or just doesn't know exactly what they want to do, but know they want to do something to serve and help others. So MedStar is a not-for-profit community service. We operate in 9 counties, and we respond to over 180,000 requests for service annually. MedStar is, we have stations down in Lincoln Park, all the way up to Bay City, and throughout Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County. We currently employ over 850 employees in our diverse workforce, and we should hit 1,000 employees by July of 2023. We are considered the region's quality leader because of our dedication to patient safety, the training and staffing of our personnel, the equipment that our employees have to do their job. So it's kind of earned us that reputation, and we are led by a team of 3 hospitals. Our EMT Academy is an actual paid 12-week program. This program, typically, students used to pay to become an EMT. Now, if they are accepted into the academy from day one, they are hired as a MedStar employee student. We take them through the academy program, which is a hybrid, and they are paid during that entire program. At the end of a successful completion of the academy, they're eligible to take the NAEMT licensing exam. As soon as they receive their licensure, they will go to work as an EMT. We also offer tutoring for our students and have one of the top pass rates in the state of Michigan for the EMT exam. It's an excellent pathway, again, to begin as an EMT and then see where their interest in healthcare takes them. So what does an EMT do? An EMT provides transportation for critically injured and or sick patients of all ages. So most people that go into EMS, they love the 911 calls. They provide basic life support, first aid, CPR, wound care. We've actually had EMTs deliver babies. They transport patients to and from hospitals, rehab centers, skilled nursing. So often a patient will get rushed to one hospital, they'll be stabilized there, and then it's critical that they get to a hospital that actually can provide the level of care that they need. So you'll see those transfers happen a lot for cardiac, neuro, anything that is a specialty service. An EMT has to be able to document the patient information and the care they deliver. They need to be good communicators with the patient. People don't care how much you know, they care how much you care about them. They're going to work with doctors, nurses. I always think one of the benefits to an EMT is it exposes them to all the other areas of healthcare within the hospital. So they get a view of OB, ER, trauma, cardiac. So it's that on-the-job training also allows them to find where their passion in medicine is. Who makes a good EMT? So a best EMT is going to be somebody that is compassionate. They like to work in a team. They like people. They like helping others. They like a fast pace. So I think people that like a job that changes every day there's something new and exciting, that seems to always be a great fit. So every day they come to work, no matter what you think you're going to do, based on what that first call is and where it takes you, it allows you to act quickly and have an excellent variety in your workday. So what do you have to do to be admitted into our academy? You do need to be 18 years or older. You do need a high school diploma or GED, a valid driver's license, and a good driving record. As you see, lights and sirens, they do need to be able to negotiate traffic. You will have to pass a background check and drug screening. In healthcare, you do have to be agreeable to immunizations and pass a physical capability test to make sure that you meet the requirements. None of those seem to be barrier to our graduating high school seniors entering the program. So what's the schedule these students will have? So Monday and Wednesday, they'll actually have an online lecture from 9 until 5. On Thursdays and Fridays, they'll be in person at one of our 2 training centers, either in Clinton Township or in Genesee County. They have labs from 9 till 5, so that's when they're hands-on and they'll be working as a group. Clinicals will be performed at local hospitals, and they're basically completed throughout the program. So they have a booklet and they have all the clinical expectations. So what's great about this program, even though it's 12 weeks, they're going to have time in the hospitals, hands-on and engaging with hospital staff within a few weeks. A clinical can begin anywhere from 5 in the morning, and a typical clinical shift is going to last 12 hours. As an EMT myself, it became very exciting when you started doing your clinical hours. So we've got a great 1-page flyer, and Sarah will make this available to everybody on the link. And this kind of just walks your students through what an EMT does, skills and abilities, minimum requirements. and they've got that QR code on the bottom so that it's easy and cell phone friendly to get connected with Courtney. Courtney is actually our recruiter. So Courtney is who will be answering questions, engaging with the students, doing the interviews. The interviews are both in person and online. So again, the Academy schedule for 10 weeks, they're going to be going through the course. We also have a new employee orientation. Our CEO, Colby Miller, actually engages in that day one with the students. So I love, they do get to meet part of our leadership. We have excellent training officers that work with them during that point. After the course is done in 10 weeks, in weeks 11 and 12, they will work in study groups, getting ready for that exam. They will work with our FTOs, so the field training officers, so they're getting time on the ambulances and actually getting ready for that license. At the completion, we actually offer an excellent graduation for them, and we do invite their family members into a really nice graduation dinner. An EMT license is the first level of licensure in healthcare. So it is the beginning of a career both in EMS and healthcare. So what will my schedule be after the EMT phase is done? At MedStar, we're number one. Our EMTs are unionized and they are amongst the highest paid in this career path in the state of Michigan. A typical full-time schedule is 42 to 50 hours a week. Typical schedules would be Tuesday, Thursday, and every other Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or a Monday, Wednesday, and every other weekend. So it gives them 2 complete weekends off a month and multiple days off during the week. So if they're continuing either in college curriculum or they're going to accelerate from EMT to paramedic, it gives them a lot of open opportunities during their week, or just, to pursue other passions. And we find that having that open time is extremely valuable to our employees. So during the EMT Academy, they start off at $15 an hour. And as soon as they get their license, they're moved right up to $16.50. Again, all of their shifts are based on overtime. So they actually do begin with a nice wage. If they are on one of our specialty shifts, so we offer Amazon cards, we have a number of specialty shifts. They actually get an immediate $1 an hour raise. For former military personnel, we also have additional hourly compensation after licensure. And they do get a yearly raise. There are shift premiums. So the annual salary of an EMT is going to afford somebody to own a house and have a very comfortable lifestyle. What is an EMT licensed to do? So they're going to get to respond to 911 calls. Again, they can provide basic life support. They're going to transport patients. They are going to call in. What most people don't realize is when you respond to an emergency, once that patient is stable, that ambulance is moving. In the back of the truck, they're going to be communicating with the hospital, phoning in what is happening with the patient and receiving orders through that. So just like you see in any of the movies out there, it's a pretty actual view of what is happening in the back of one of our rigs. What other opportunities are there? So we always talk about MedStar is a great career pathway for any students coming in. So you can advance very quickly from EMT to paramedic. Once you're a licensed EMT, you can complete a paramedic course in 12 to 18 months. You can become a critical care medic. You can actually become a flight medic. So MedStar operates their own helicopter. We also have a mobile health paramedic. So a mobile health paramedic actually goes out into the community and cares for patients in their own home. You've seen a very dynamic change in EMS the last few years. And that change is projected to grow by leaps and bounds. They're trying to move healthcare outside of the brick and mortar of hospitals and urgent cares. So there's a program in Michigan called PACE, and MedStar takes care of all of the PACE programs. So they call in and a mobile health paramedic comes directly to their home. It's been key to reducing patient readmissions, and it's also provided a wonderful resource to keep some of our aging population living successfully in their own home instead of moving into assisted living or skilled care. You can also go into education. So because we offer training sites and teach multiple things besides EMT and paramedic. So from CPR to advanced life-saving, basic life-saving, you can become a proctor, you can become a lab instructor, or you can actually become a full instructor. And so if education is something they like, they maintain their license, and they're helping to grow others into a career in EMS. We have operations supervisors at every station that we operate. You can also go into management, dispatch, human resources. So with the robust workforce that we have, much like with Detroit Police, there's so many opportunities for high school students looking for a job while they're still in class. We offer supply and deployment positions. So if you have students that are looking for a part-time job right now, they're interested in the academy, they can apply for an opening working in supply or deployment, or even in our wheelchair transportation division. So kind of a one-stop shop, something for everyone. How do I find additional information? If you click on the link, medstarambulance.org/hired, that's going to take you right into Courtney's email, and we can share our frequently asked questions, arrange tours. MedStar is going to be participating and hosting an open house for everybody on the call. We're looking for a date in March. So you'll get to come into one of our training sites and actually hands-on. So in our simulation room, you can watch a live birth, and you'll see what it's like to actually be an EMT Academy student, kind of front and center. We're also going to make sure everybody in that program that day becomes CPR Friends and Family certified. So, questions?
Okay, we have a few. I'll go ahead and proctor them. So what is the difference between an EMT and a paramedic?
EMTs, it's just a different license and a higher level, but EMTs are very important. They're the ones that support the paramedics. We do have a lot of BLS where there are 2 basic EMTs on a truck. And they do all the basic stuff. They can do the AEDs. They can bring a baby into the world. When you become a paramedic, it gets into airways and medication administrations and just a lot more responsibility for them. At that point, they're kind of in charge of the scene, and just they've got a lot more knowledge, and they need a lot more time in class. So.
And do you make school site visits and presentations?
Yes, absolutely. So you can actually email me at any time, and we can come out and just go through it and answer any questions, do a little presentation for the counselors, for the students, for anyone that's interested. We're always available.
And for a graduating student, I'm just going to ask this. So we have students, obviously, the first 2 weeks of June. What is the cycle of your semesters, and what would be the right time for a 2023 high school graduate to get signed up, to get ready, etc.?
As long as they're 18 years of age and they have that diploma, they can actually get on that website that we provided, and that'll take them to just a quick application, which will put them in contact with me. So then we kind of start the ball rolling and see if it's something they're interested. I explain the whole the whole academy to them, and like I said, as long as they're 18 and their background check is good and all that, we'll get them in and get them going.
And Sarah, piggybacking on that, so if their goal is to get into a summer academy, typically they're filling up those academies usually about 8 weeks in advance. So if somebody is 18 or turning 18, they just have to be 18 by the time the course begins. So it's a great idea. I would say for your graduating seniors, they would want to start that reach out process as early as January. Because this is now paid training, the courses do tend to fill up quickly, and that guarantees them if they're accepted, their seat is held, and they basically have that time to complete their exams, make sure their vaccinations are up to date, and all of the above. And one thing we didn't talk about is there's an excellent program throughout Michigan and other states that is a paramedic bridge to RN. So if somebody gets into this field and wants to continue that education and decides they want to be an ER nurse or a trauma nurse, one of the quickest ways to become a nurse is actually paramedic to RN. So it's a shortened program. They tend to do extremely well because paramedics actually can provide care that even nurses can't. So they've already been hands-on, they've learned the pharmacology, they've learned the medication administration, and they've been working in that field. So nursing education, respiratory therapists, there's so many places that they can bridge that license to. We have paramedics that have become RNs and still work contingent for MedStar though, because they like that excitement and that new change that comes with working on an ambulance each day.
Yeah, and I just, as a proud big sister, my brother actually started his career at MedStar. He was kind of a lost high school graduate athlete, and he was seeking a career where there was adrenaline and action. And he started off at MedStar, became EMT certified, and now he is a nurse practitioner in his mid-30s. But when we talk about stackable credentials and giving our students an opportunity to have short-term success as they explore the career pathway of their interest, just a little bit of spark for him. And he loved his time at MedStar. He loved the work that he did. And then he continued to elevate his work and his career by going into Macomb's nursing program and just went from there. But MedStar is a great opportunity to serve your community. The staff is fantastic and they're really good to encourage, and it's that good short-term stackable credential that we know sort of lights that fire for some of our students who the thought of grinding out a 4-year degree just is a little daunting in their life at where they are. So I've seen MedStar change lives, so I just wanted to throw in that little personal.
Yes, thank you. That's like a paid testimonial.
Right.
But
not only, I'm a client as well, right?
Yes. You do bring up a key point. So one of the students, there's the high school student that doesn't necessarily carry the highest GPA. I mean, I don't want to pigeonhole, but there's students who have a very high IQ. Maybe they've got a little ADD. Maybe they're just bored in school. They're not necessarily book smart, but it's just because they're more action oriented. This is a great career pathway for that student that doesn't have the high graduating grades to get into a university of choice. Also, the fact that if they graduated in June, by the end of summer, they are a licensed EMT in a career, wearing a uniform, on the way to their next step. In addition to the free training to become a paramedic, MedStar, we also offer college tuition for our full-time employees. So I just don't think there's a better company that supports a student wherever you want to go. So we're very pro-education. And I always tell my story. I was pre-med. I was the opposite. I was very book smart, and I was not so good hands-on with any type of blood injury. So I went the opposite way in my career. but I wasted a lot of pre-med college courses. So for that student that they're interested in healthcare, they know they want to do something, they don't know exactly what that is, they'll figure out very quickly, do they like the patient care? What is their interest? And it's a great pathway, although there is a nursing shortage. We hear every day that students are struggling to get accepted into nursing school. And we've had many that they thought they wanted to be a nurse and then they just fall in love with the EMS profession. So we are like the lifetime opportunity. We have one of the lowest turnover rates, which we're extremely proud of, and many employees. So we are 30 years old this year, and our employee appreciation party in a few weeks, we will be celebrating 30-year veteran employees at MedStar. So that's really something that we're proud of.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, are there any final questions? As mentioned, we are working with MedStar and I will be having additional discussions with Detroit Police Department to see about opportunities of really getting us into these facilities. I think these presentations are a great first step, but there's a lot of magic in being together and really seeing what goes on in these different places and hopefully getting our students those experiences as well, so we can elevate all of these great opportunities. Now, we are from Macomb County and I would like to be able to represent what the community colleges has to offer. So as you know, I try to give a wide range of access points to different careers. So know that Macomb Community College does offer options within criminal justice and public safety, emergency medical technician. So there are opportunities for your students. I think we're pretty well versed in how to get into Macomb and all those different opportunities that exist there. But I do want you to know that is another avenue for your students. But I wanted to highlight these two different organizations today because I don't think we are knowledgeable have as much knowledge as to how these different organizations give us like direct access as if we were attending like a trade school, if you will. And also with the Detroit Police Department, that it's not just about getting a job as a sworn officer, that all of those different support positions, your students can graduate from high school and directly go into that work. And so that was my thought process in bringing you all of this information today. So I want to thank you all. I will not forget the password. Hold on. I want to thank you all for attending today. Thank you to our representatives from MedStar and the Detroit Police Department. The work you do is so important when we are in a state of crisis in our life and we need help. The fact that we can trust these organizations to be there and support us at some of our most difficult moments of life. It's just a really honorable pathway, and we would love to see our students continue into those different professions. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful
Sarah,
holiday.
really quick. Someone in the chat was asking for the presenters information, MedStar. So Susan and her partners, how do they contact them?
Yeah, so I pushed out both DPD and MedStar this just before we started. I pushed out all of their flyers and handouts. So I emailed those. So if you were able to connect today, those were the emails I used to get you all that information. So check your email today. Susan, if you want to put that in the chat really fast, if someone wants to jot it down, but definitely take a look at my email. I have all the handouts. And I also will make sure Shannon and I will make sure it gets on the Macomb Engage website, those different brochures and flyers with contact information.